This is where Britain's top commentators speak out on controversial issues without the fear of the cancel culture sweeping the rest of the media. And breaking tonight, there will be no royal reunion between King Charles and his closest long-term aide, Michael Fawcett.
King Charles, the name alone conjures images of regal tradition, centuries-old duty, and the weight of a crown that has passed through generations. But behind the royal facade lies a man, a father facing one of the most painful chapters of his life. He is the father, the monarch, the man who once shielded his younger son from the harshest storms. Through childhood missteps and public scrutiny, Charles was there, offering guidance and protection, even when the world seemed determined to judge. But now, he's drawn a line in the sand. The relationship that once seemed unbreakable has reached a breaking point, and the consequences are reverberating through the palace walls.
Despite the Met Police dropping their inquiry into the Cash for Honours investigation against Fawcett and the Prince's Foundation yesterday, sources have tonight told the Daily Telegraph that the King will never work with the former chief executive of his foundation again, with both men said to have moved on, aware that such a move would simply not be worth the aggravation. But Charles will be searching for all of the allies he can find, after some briefed the Sunday Times at the weekend that he runs the risk of becoming a caretaker king, perhaps too willing to sit back and wait for William to take the throne and become the real changemaker of the monarchy. Well, I'm delighted to welcome back to the show distinguished royal author Tom Bower, of course, the biographer of the King. And Tom, look, obviously we've got this breaking news on Michael Fawcett, but there seems to be a bigger question tonight as we approach the one-year anniversary of King Charles's reign as to whether he's actually making any form of difference and if he has the right people around him to do so.
Well, in my view, not, and we've discussed this many times, Dan. But, you know, the Fawcett decision is actually critical to the survival of the monarchy. If Michael Fawcett had been prosecuted and the evidence against him, let's remind ourselves, was pretty conclusive. He had offered a Saudi businessman a knighthood and British citizenship in return for a donation to Prince Charles's charities. That, if it was proven to be true, is illegal. And Fawcett in the dock at the Old Bailey would have undoubtedly caused the king enormous problems, and in my view would have been the end of King Charles's reign. So they made the decision that the king's future was more important than the law in this case. And I think that's a very important decision that they've reached, a landmark. In terms of King Charles himself, I think we've always assumed that he's lost the mojo to some extent. The fact that he didn't deal firmly with the Sussexes, the fact that he allowed Prince William and Kate to take over so much of his duties has shown that he really hasn't got the energy, in my view, anymore to impose himself in the same way as perhaps his mother did and change Britain under his reign. You know, he's a man of 75. I think his wife is not that keen on endlessly traveling. And I think he is going to be, in every way, a good caretaker king, but not the man he hoped that he would be.
According to royal investigator Tom Bower, Charles has refused to forgive Prince Harry, and the reason might just shock you. Bower, known for his fearless reporting and deep royal connections, claims this rift is more than a family squabble. It's a matter of principle, pride, and the future of the monarchy itself. So what really happened behind palace doors? Let's break it down. The world saw the headlines, but the real story is far more complex, woven with years of tension, disappointment, and ultimately heartbreak. Tom Bower, author, journalist, no-nonsense royal insider, says Charles is finished with Harry. The king who once hoped for reconciliation has now closed that chapter for good. There's no way back, Bower declares. The bridge between father and son has been burned, and the ashes are still smouldering. The damage is too deep, the betrayal too public. Every word, every interview, every headline has driven the wedge further, making forgiveness seem impossible. For years, Charles bent over backwards, supporting Harry, covering for him, even smoothing over scandals. He tried to be both a father and a king, balancing love with duty, and always hoping Harry would find his way back. But that patience?
Fascinating stuff. Both sides of the story, of course, here on GB News, and Michael Fawcett himself has always denied any wrongdoing, while a spokesperson for the Prince's Foundation told GB News tonight the Prince's Foundation has noted the decision of the Metropolitan Police following the conclusion of its own independent investigation and governance review last year. The charity is moving forward with a continued focus on delivering the education and training programs for which it has been established. Now, Tom, it hasn't been a great few days for Prince William either, who faced a barrage of criticism for what folk have called a sexist decision not to attend the Women's World Cup final in Sydney and his subsequent video apology. Watch this.
Lionesses, we want to send you a huge good luck for tomorrow. We're sorry we can't be there in person, but we're so proud of everything you've achieved and the millions you've inspired here and around the world. So go out there tomorrow and really enjoy yourselves.
Good luck, Lionesses.
But the Daily Telegraph columnist, Tom, and friend of the show, Celia Walden, argues while the decision may have been clumsy, it wasn't sexist. She accuses the Prince's critics of diluting serious accusations of sexism. So what did you make of his no-show in Sydney, Tom?
Well, I thought there were three reasons why he didn't have to go. I think that, he's a hard-working man. He's got a family. It's the summer holidays. It wouldn't only be his holidays that have been disrupted, but all his staff as well. I think that it wasn't vital for him to sit there, although in Sydney, although undoubtedly is an amazing achievement.
It ran out. The endless cycle of drama, disappointment and public spectacle finally took its toll. And it all started with one word: spare. The memoir that changed everything, laying bare the secrets of the House of Windsor for the world to see. Sure, the Oprah interview rocked the monarchy, but when Harry's memoir, Spare, dropped, it was like lighting a fire in Buckingham Palace. The revelations were explosive, the accusations impossible to ignore. According to Bauer, Charles was devastated, not just by Harry's words, but by the cold, calculated way he laid everything bare. Private conversations? Exposed. Family secrets broadcast to millions. The trust that once existed was shattered in an instant. Camilla, painted as the villain, years of careful image-building undone in a few pages, leaving her reputation in tatters and her relationship with Harry in ruins. And Charles himself, called out as a weak, emotionally distant father, the fallout was instant. The king, already under immense pressure, now faced a personal crisis that threatened to overshadow his reign. Palace insiders say Charles stopped taking Harry's call.
For the Lionesses and for women's sport in all, that they have got that far, they did get that far. But I think there's another more important issue as well here. Australia is run at the moment by a Republican Prime Minister. I think the arrival of Prince William just to see an English match, but not to have been there to see the Australian matches, would have been used by him to show that Prince William is not really a prince of the Australian people. He might have got involved in some unfortunate politics. So I think the Lionesses played as well as they could without his presence there, and it wasn't the end of the world that he didn't turn up.
OK, interesting take. I see where you're coming from there, actually. Now, look, reports from OK magazine, Tom, which have gone all around the world, are suggesting that Prince Harry is preparing for peace talks with King Charles, with plans for the pair to reunite in Britain before Harry travels back to the States after next month's Invictus Games. One condition, according to sources, would be the Duke no longer airs private family laundry in public. Tom, do you really think that Charles particularly wants to have any form of summit with Harry at the moment, given how difficult and destructive his youngest son is still proving to be?
Well, I don't believe this story. I may be proved wrong, but I don't think that King Charles wants to get involved in the muckiness of discussing future terms of a relationship with Prince Harry. And I don't think that even Harry does, frankly. I think that they're both going about their lives now separately. And I think this is one of those stories a summer story, which might have been interesting, but really, let us look at the basics. The Sussexes are doing their absolute best to destroy the British monarchy. They may be quiet for the moment, but they're not going to keep
it's not over.
Forever.
No, it's not over. Tom Bauer, brilliant as ever. Thank you so much, Tom. We'll speak very soon.
No more late-night heart-to-hearts, no more olive branches. The lines of communication went cold, and the silence spoke volumes. The trust was shattered, and for Charles, that heartbreak cut deeper than any headline. The pain of a father betrayed by his own son is something no crown can protect against. This isn't just a family drama, it's a royal crisis, a father's heartbreak, a son's rebellion, and a nation watching, wondering what comes next, and a kingdom caught in the crossfire. The public, the press, and the palace staff all feel the tension as the monarchy faces one of its greatest modern challenges. Tom Bower's brutal truth cuts through the noise. There is no going back. Charles is king now. His duty is to the crown, to the country, and to the legacy he must uphold, no matter the personal cost. Harry, he's on the outside looking in, once a beloved prince, now a figure of controversy, his place in the royal family uncertain, and his future forever changed. The royal family has closed ranks for good. The message is clear. Loyalty to the crown comes before all else, even blood. So what do you think? Is this a tragedy of Shakespearean proportions, or simply the price of royal life in the modern age? Should Charles forgive Harry, or has the damage already been done? Can a family so public ever truly heal in private, or is this rift destined to define a generation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters in this ongoing royal saga. Like this video if you think the crown comes first. Show your support for the monarchy or stand with Harry. Every opinion counts. And hey, don't forget to subscribe for more royal revelations the mainstream won't touch. We're here to bring you the stories behind the headlines, the truths others won't dare to tell. This is royal history, unfiltered, unsparing, and unfolding before our eyes. The story of King Charles and Prince Harry is far from over, and we'll be here to cover every twist and turn.